basically sums it up. They're angry. They're angry and they're in defence of the fishermen today. Here's the Sun, first of all, done up like a kipper. And you've got a kipper split down the middle there. And the Sun details the Prime Minister's deal. And they say it is to bow down to EU judges.
And this front page actually comes from GB News' very own Christopher Hope. He asked this question to the Prime Minister yesterday, and it is now the front page of The Sun this morning. The Daily Mail leads also with backlash to the Prime Minister's new trade deal, labelling it as Starmer's surrender.
Kiss goodbye to Brexit. That's the Daily Telegraph. It reports that Starmer is being accused of attempting to drag Britain back into the EU. You have your say with that with us this morning.
The Daily Mirror reports on the new Euro Pact, with the Prime Minister saying the deal is a win-win.
And the PM's in a tight spot as the Daily Star tackles the backlash against him with the assessment from Boris Johnson, who described the Prime Minister as an orange ball chewing, what's that word?
Gimp.
And so what is that? What does he mean? What does he mean by that? And I don't even know what he means.
It's just from a film, isn't it? Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
What they had these
reference. Very Johnson.
Anyway, so the Mirror in favour of what the Prime Minister and the government's done, but nobody else seems to be.
Yeah, exactly. We're going through the papers now with former Conservative MP Anna Firth and radio and TV presenter.
You saw the interview we did with the man from the fish fryers there. Any you would like to say about that?
Your place or mine?
Yeah, but are you going to pay 15 quid for it?
Well, this is the thing. We were talking about this a few seconds ago, Ellie and I, and we reckon it was about 3 or 4 quid, and now 15. So fish and chips has shot up, and I don't think they're selling as much to it.
So if you have a family of 6 or so, right? So
that's extortionate.
That's nearly 100 quid.
Yeah.
It used to be 20 quid.
Without mushy peas.
But I mean, I totally agree with this, Eamon, but it's about so much more than just fish and chips. Of course, the fish and chips is incredibly important, but our coastal fishing fleets, they're colourful, they're part of our culture, they're part of our history, they're part of our tourist industry. And
Is your constituency coastal?
Yeah, Leigh-on-Sea.
It's a fishing village originally.
Yeah, it was 1,000 years of fishermen. They're in the Doomsday Book.
Who cares for them? Who's there? Who's fighting their cause?
Well, certainly not Keir Starmer.
No.
The president of the NFFO, who's in my constituency, told me yesterday this is a complete sellout, and he wonders if Starmer is a secret foreign spy because he's giving everything away. Chagos Islands, fishing.
Yeah.
Now free movement is possibly coming back with 18 to 30-year-olds being out. I mean, what else is he going to give away?
Do you think Starmer is just so keen to be seen to be doing things, that he wants this momentum, he wants to be seen to be a deal maker, that he's making bad deals?
I think it's summed up. There's an interview out there somewhere on the internet where Starmer was asked, before he became PM, where would you rather be, Westminster or Davos? And he says, Davos. This sums the whole thing up. He wants to be on the international stage. He's a Luvvie. He's a North London Luvvie. He gets on with them. Dear Keir, if you're negotiating for your country, you don't expect the people to be calling you Dear Keir because you're out there to get a good deal. You know, this sort of loviness isn't compatible with really fighting for your country.
You know, I'm used to, historically deals in Northern Ireland and watching Northern Irish politicians who basically would not like each other, and they don't walk up kissing each other and hugging each other. They can be friendly, but this idea, the way with von der Leyen yesterday and Starmer, and it's like his best friend, and it's all this.
It's on the front page of the Telegraph, isn't it?
Oh, all this, and you think, are you her mate? Are you her adversary?
Exactly. Kiss of death, that is. To
Kiss goodbye to Brexit, says the Daily Telegraph today.
I mean, I spent my professional life in the courts being a barrister. And, yes, you had a professional relationship with the other side.
Yes.
No way would I be going up to my opponent and doing all of this sort of loviness.
And I look at, you look at Zelensky and the way they all hug him. It's like, there's my mate, Vladimir, all this business. You wouldn't have seen in the Second World War Churchill and Stalin and whatever sitting down and saying, well, Joe, what about you? Huggy, huggy, kissy, kissy. I mean, it's all for the cameras.
Yeah, it's the social media age we're in now, isn't it? They want to be seen to be kissing and hugging each other.
It really is. When can they be serious? When Is it?
But I believe it's more pernicious than that, because you can't. We're not superhuman. If you're in this lovely relationship with people, how can you at the same time be standing up for your country? I don't think it's possible to be two-faced like that.
Do you not think it helps, Anna, in these negotiations? 100% of the cabinet voted Remain. So all of them want to be back in Europe. And there is a theory that if you can have this lovey-dovey relationship with the EU, you've got the youth mobility scheme and easier trade and things like that, that essentially we are becoming rule followers again, but without having any say in the rules. So then, in 10 years' time, you're looking potentially at another referendum. You want to be involved in coming up with these rules in the first place.
100%. If you live in North London and your view is that you love the European superstate, you love free movement because you love having cheap labour at the dry cleaners, and you don't live out in the real world talking to real people, then of course underlying this is a desire to get back into this club.
Do you think they have one eye on that? Or do you think they are? Or do you believe them when they say, look, we're looking ahead to the future now, that's all in the past?
But what does the future have in store, Pat? Could you see this government being returned?
I think not, due to maybe your colleague on GB News perhaps getting in. Nigel Farage and Reform UK. And you think they stand to be the big winners in all of this? Seems to be what people are talking about at present, yeah.
But why? Here's a question, though. Where was Nigel yesterday? I didn't see him anywhere. I didn't see him comment. I didn't see him.
He said it would be the end of small fishing. He said it would be the end of the fishing industry yesterday. He said it would be the end of the fishing industry yesterday, and that it was a sellout.
Yeah, but why was Richard Tice doing? He was appearing in our programme.
I thought that was very, very odd.
Maybe he's on his holidays or something. Who knows? But it's quite difficult. Do you think this government would be returned? Do you resent having to stick with them for the next 5 years, or do you think give it time and it'll all work itself out? Let us know your views. Share your views and have your say with us.
Yeah.
So, if you're a frontline worker and you're dealing with fish, maybe in a fish and chip shop, we're joined now by Vice President of the National Federation of Fish Fryers, Stuart Devine. Stuart, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Stuart, I'm going to ask you in a minute, how you're feeling about this today, but I bought a fish supper last night. It cost me £11.90. Heaven forbid. You would have thought, I never thought I'd see the day where it would be that sort of money. And I know it can be more expensive and it can be less expensive. But is this going to hit our fish and chips in any way? More people competing to catch our fish for our fish and chips. Does that mean higher prices?
It certainly can't help. We've been dealing with high prices for a long time now. The prices are continually going up. There is a shortage of fish. The fish is in shortage, which is pushing the prices up. So the situation's not good. I'd still hope that you think that the £11.90 was good value for money. It is a great product, but it's all these things are not helping the situation.
And what do you make of this deal, Stuart? Do you feel as though the Prime Minister has sold out our fishermen?
I think the fishing fleet up and down the coast of this country must be waking up this morning really despondent. I think they must be thinking that they've just been absolutely thrown to the wolves. I think the Prime Minister and the government, in order to get this deal over the line, I think the fishing industry has been a sacrifice. And I think that's extremely sad.
But you see, I got to ask you, mate, who's out there fighting for the fish industry? Who's taking this seriously? And I would have thought after Brexit, the guys might have by and large thought, right, good, we've got control back of our own waters. We're going to control our own industry here. We're the bosses here. And then it's not to be. No one seems to have paid them a darn bit of notice.
Well, I totally agree. The thing of Brexit is whether you were with Brexit or without it, Brexit happened. We had to get on with what Brexit. And one of the things that Brexit was supposed to bring was the control of our own seas, bringing the control of our own seas back. Now, of course, after Brexit, there's been a fair delay, and the fishermen have been waiting and waiting and waiting. And now, I just think it's a massive betrayal to be given another 12 years to be left in complete limbo. I think it's astonishing.
And Stuart, you know lots of fishermen up in Scotland, don't you? So, I mean, how are they feeling this morning? I mean, this was already an industry that was on its knees.
I think it'll be leaving fishing communities up and down this country. They will have had hope, you know, from Brexit. They will have had hope that something good could come out of Brexit. But today, as I say, they'll be waking up in disbelief. I think they'll think it's astonishing.
Stuart, I could not think of a harder job. I mean, there are more deaths in the fishing industry, in trawler work, than there is in mining, for instance, or anything like that. This is a dangerous profession. It's carried out, my goodness me, anybody who's ever seasick, imagine having to carry out doing your job in those foul seas that go on to give us lovely fish that we can indulge ourselves in. But the Spanish and the French, who are now up having a pinch at the Brit fish, what do they do in their own seas? Do they not have fish in their own seas? Have they not got enough to go around? Why do they need to be in our seas?
One of the obvious reasons is that haddock cod from the North Sea, to me, is probably the finest fish product you can find anywhere in the world.
Yeah.